All right, Patrick. Thanks for this time. Patrick Rettig of the Rettig Corporation. He's here. We're going to do a little discussion and talk about business. He helps businesses in need of financial turnaround and businesses in crisis. And he's also a dictionary. He's come up with these terms, and there's a few terms that I read that I want to talk with him about today. Starting right away with what you've called the Black Forest. And I like the Black Forest because, I mean, I don't want to take the answer from you, but you talk about, well, you know what? I'll just let you describe it. The Black Forest, there's a little bit of Wizard of Oz reference here.
Oh, yeah. And, like, if any of you are familiar with the Wizard of Oz, you're probably over 30. But the Wizard of Oz, you should Google it. It was a great story about choices. The yellow brick road took you to Oz, right? And if you got off the yellow brick road, you went into the Black Forest where the witches were and the monsters and the hobgoblins and all that, right? It's a lot like business. You have to stay to the straight and narrow, but the allure, right? The allure is the Black Forest. That's where people get to ride broomsticks, right?
That's exciting,
right?
Yeah.
And they get to wear cool little monkey clothes, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the shortcuts are in there, right?
It's fun for a season till the house drops on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Until the house drops on you. Good. Right. The Wicked Witch of the West. Okay. The best way to stay on the straight and narrow is to decide what you stand for. To decide that you stand for correct living. Now, you notice we're in a compound here. This is the Rettig Corp compound, the secret hideout of Rettig Corp hideout. I have had wonderful offices in the middle of the city of Los Angeles, the kind that have cement floors, you know what I'm talking about, right? Blacked out ceilings with the air conditioner ducts going through them. And it was cool. It was also very expensive, right? Here in the compound, we come up with all of our secret dialogue. And you can find that when I finally get the book out. But what we're talking about today, staying on the straight and narrow requires creativity for good things. Win-win situations that we talked about earlier in a 60-second spot. Creating ideas that are good for the company as a whole, not just the owner. But long story short, you got to learn to stand for goodness, honesty, integrity, dignity. And it's hard to do, myself included. We all stumble. We all fall. And the measure of the man is how fast he gets off of it. How fast he gets off of it, and gets back on track.
Yeah, and there's another term, the origin of failure. Now, when it comes to that business owner that is taking that first step off of the yellow brick road, as you say, into that Black Forest, when we talk about what keeps you on the yellow brick road, what are some of those things like the bad behaviors that will start taking steps in the wrong direction?
We all are familiar with the allure of sin and the
Sure.
Black Forest because it's fun, right? And temptation to do things you shouldn't is so fun. And but we know we pay the price the next day. For all of you out there, drink too much, drugs, relationships you should stay away from. Boy, at the time, it's a gas. The next day, not so much, right? So the origin of failure is a tricky, sort of mesmerizing place. It requires you to, what I call, accept points of failure along the way. A point of failure. So like in business, you let this guy off the hook. He doesn't have to pay you for 60 days, for 90 days, for 100 days. You accept that. You decide to stay at work too long when obviously your brain isn't working. You decide to take a loan because you didn't do your receivables today. You don't feel like getting your receivables. You can't get them. There's an argument. You decide, the worst one of all, that you're going to sue somebody. Boy, I'm telling you, the highest, we'll talk about that some other time, but the most expensive thing on the line item is revenge. Nobody can afford revenge, but we accept all these things as maybe it's, so we point negative. point negative, point negative, point negative, until we finally find ourselves in that proverbial, the straw that broke the camel's back. And finally, you make that one decision that throws the company into a free fall. And now you're out of money. You're out of options. You got real problems and you're in a free fall. You can't do anything about it. Best that you call me.
You give people second chances. Now, you talked about that the other day with me. You say, I get everybody to a second chance. They take that step off the yellow brick road. You give them that second chance to get back on the road. Tell me why a second chance is important, and tell me if there's such thing as a third chance in this line of work. How important is that second chance?
If you are my client, you're an overachiever at not only doing well, but also an overachiever at not doing well. So when you fail, you've given it hell, as they say. Well, on the flip side of that is I totally believe that heaven above gives us a second chance. When you get with me, we've all traveled into the Black Forest, as we talked about, and we make our way back to the yellow brick road. And we go back to that point of that origin of failure. And at that point, you make a choice. You make a choice. That choice is, I am going to succeed. I am going to live correctly. I am going to make correct choices, and I'm going to be the kind of guy that my kids can be proud of. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fall, but I'm going to step back up again. I'm telling you, man, when heaven looks down upon you and gives you that second chance, which I see all the time in my business, now you choose the big one. Whether or not I'm going to invest my second chance, or I'm going to spend it. I'm going to go right back down the Black Forest, and I'm going to gamble my second chance away. I'm going to go back to my old ways. I'm going to do it the way, because why? People say it all the time. You don't understand my business. Well, my big joke is, I'm looking at your balance sheet, buddy. Apparently, you don't understand your business either. So let's try my way. Let's try correct living. Dudes, come back. Let's do a second chance. And this time, let's do it better.
For sure.
For sure.
We got one more term, and it talks about those important things that we got to keep in check as we're on that yellow brick road. Two sides of a coin. You know, there's two sides of every coin. There's a top and a bottom, equally important to create value to the coin. You say the top is it encompasses the things that are, seen, the bottom, things that are not seen, all important. But why don't you take us through your term, two sides of a coin?
Currency, right? If I have a quarter or a silver dollar, I love silver dollars, especially the old ones are so cool, right? They get artwork and everything. But they're worth a lot because the top and the bottom is perfect. You know, obviously, the more perfect it is, the more the silver coin is worth, right? And there's even gold silver dollars now. Wow, you know.
Yes.
But to be a correct coin, it has to have a top and a bottom, okay? And the top is the top, and the bottom is the bottom as the artwork goes. Let's think about all relationships like that, okay? The top being administration.
Right.
The top being all about how to administrate your company, banking, DMV, insurance, how to produce, deliver, and collect, how to make deals, all administration. But without the bottom, the coin's not worth anything. The bottom is organic. That is the place of love and balance, compassion.
Creativity.
Creativity,
Yeah.
yes, creativity. Without both sides of the coin, it's not worth anything. And there is no really good administration without the organic nature of a relationship. For us to do this, we have to have a relationship. You have to want to do what I'm doing. I have to want to do what we're doing here together. We're working on a thing to bring people in to help them. Well, as soon as they come, I have to administrate that thing. There is so much to that, you know? So if you think about it, on top we have administration, on the bottom we have heaven. Come on, man. Is that cool? Come on. Everybody's like, I don't know if I like the way you're saying that. Who cares? Who cares if you like the way I'm saying it? Come on. Put your own words in there. But kids, We want a coin. We want to be worth something. And in order to do that, we have to have both sides of that coin happening. Come on.
Well, to summarize what we've talked about, your job, you keep people on the yellow brick road, and so I want you to just give a few, just a closing thought to those who might be listening today, and they might be veering into that black forest, and they know it. Maybe they don't know it, but
They're
they
lost
see
in the
it.
black forest. They don't know how to get
lost.
out.
Okay, they're like in the black forest.
Yeah.
So what can you do for them?
First of all, this is an invitation. So I'm standing at the yellow brick road where the path has gone off in the black forest with that lantern. I'm wielding that lantern so that you can see that light to come back this way. And it's not for everybody. This path I'm talking about, the yellow brick road, it's not for everybody. I wish it was, but it's not. It's not easy. The yellow brick road is not smooth. The yellow brick road is mountainous. Yeah, man, it's mountainous. And by the way, in our theme of Oz, the yellow brick road, when you get to Oz, Oz is the first stop. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the other side of it, but it's not easy. It's not for everybody. And some people walk with me on the yellow brick road for a while, and then they quit. They go back out into the black forest. They go back. And I suppose that you can live in the black forest for as long as you're alive. But it's not as much fun as the yellow brick road. The yellow brick road goes farther. Correct living is what I'm saying. I know we're kind of getting lost in the yellow brick road and the black forest and all that, but there is correct path, and it's not for everybody. It's hard, and I'm not for everybody. Clearly, my studio here, we meet the secret location of the Rettig Corp. We meet in here, and we study financials, thick financials. We study forecasts. We study people and their dynamics, the relationships that they have with their companies, and a lot of music. We got a lot of music going on here. We got a lot of creativity, and we have a lot of relationship. But I'm standing on the yellow brick road. I can't go into the black forest and get you, man. You got to walk out. I've been in the black forest. We all are tempted by the black forest. So dudes, dudettes, follow the light. Come on, get back over here. And then let's climb the yellow brick road together. And by the way, as long as we're using these metaphors, the black forest is smooth. That ride into the black forest, it's like smooth, like if you're a skateboarder, smooth ride all the way down, okay? All the way into chaos. And if you're in the black forest right now, you're experiencing chaos, frustration, you're alone, people don't understand where you're at, or they have a whole lot of information that you should have done. You know what you should have done? You know what you did? Why, I can't believe if I was you. I think none of that matters, man. You need somebody who's been there, and I have a way to get out. I've helped a lot of people, but like I said, I wish it was for everybody. Look, the correct path is hard. It is not easy. But there's more. There's no ceiling on correct living. You can be anything, do anything. You just have to pay the price, and the price is correctness. I keep using that word, but there's just no other way to say it. And for those of you that can't make it back, try. Try. Call the number. What do you got to lose? Come on. I let people work for 2 weeks for free, like just to see if our relationship will work. And so, like, if you can get it from me in 2 weeks, you don't even have to pay me. You know what I mean? You can get it. I tell people all the time, rob me. Rob me. See what you can do. This is a second chance. And second chances, when you invest them, they rock and roll, man. They rock and roll.